In our today's video, we'll talk about a very famous historical personality, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. But why is Mahatma Jyotiba Phule news? The reason is very simple. Because last year, from the ramparts of Red Fort, Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, announced that the government will celebrate or commemorate the 200th birth anniversary of Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So, all this event would start from this month, April 2026, and it will continue up till April 2027. So, in this regard, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, his contributions to India's society, India's education system, India's politics for that matter, becomes important from UPSC perspective. And therefore, the notes which I will be using for our today's session, you can also download them for your future reference purposes by going to a Telegram channel called as ATS Live. And while you're at it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, so let us start our today's discussion by understanding the background in which Mahatma Jyotiba Phule existed. Because understanding the background of any personality would help us understand what his line of thought was, right? So Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, he was born as Jyotirao Govindrao Phule, and he was a social reformer who wanted to eradicate Indian society with many then existing social evils like untouchability, caste system, and he was a very strong advocate of women empowerment. He actually believed that education of a girl child is the only way in which you can empower women of India. And he was born on April 11th, 1827. So you can understand in 2027, it will complete his 200th birth anniversary. He was born in Maharashtra and he was born in a very backward community called as Mali community. Mali community is basically a community who basically discharges work like gardener. So in the social hierarchy, his community stands at the Shudra level, and that is why he suffered many kind of discrimination from other sections or other hierarchies of the society. Now his father, Mr. Govindrao Phule, he was basically a vegetable vendor and he saw his death of his mother very early in his childhood. So this shaped his line of thought, which actually impacted his future decisions. You'll get to know what are those. Now, despite facing such societal barriers, discrimination of the society, Jyotiba Phule began his education locally, but he eventually got admission in Scottish Mission High School. So his exposure to good quality education actually helped him a lot. Here, his exposure to Western thinkers like Thomas Paine, James Stuart Mill actually fueled his dedication towards social justice. And while he worked as a contractor in public works department, so he used his financial security in order to fund his social justice methods, right? So he started establishing schools, holding public awareness events, and how was this funded? From his salary that he got from the Pune Public Works Department. And he was bestowed with the title of Mahatma, which was given to him by a Maharashtrian social activist, Mr. Vithalrao Krishnaji Vandekar. So that is how he gained very good fame in the Indian society because of all his work. So, what are his contributions to different sections of society? Now, let us try to understand this. First, let us try to understand his contribution to India's education system. And he's best known for being a pioneer of women's education. He started at the very early by recognizing that lack of education for women leads to lack of wisdom. So, he opened India's first school for girls, which was then located in Bhidewada in Pune, and he even got his wife, Mrs. Savitribai Phule, educated, making herself the first female teacher in India. Right? He also established night schools. In night schools, working class people were allowed to study, and it helped them and it allowed them to gain education alongside their jobs. So, why was this night school aimed at? So that people can continue working during the daytime, make living, and use this living to support their education, which will ultimately let them get upskilled, ultimately give them a higher position in the Indian society, which basically a caste system or the caste system ridden society won't give, right? So this was his intention, and that is why his most important contribution can be said as the educational reforms that he suggested. But that doesn't mean that he did not contributed in other sections of the society. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule also critiqued Brahmanical orthodoxy, and he saw Brahmanical orthodoxy as a root of social inequality in India. In his writing, which he wrote, he condemned this caste system and he basically became the champion of liberation of oppressed communities. And that is how his abolition of untouchability and his contribution towards the same becomes important. Now, you'll realize how brave he was, how courageous he was. In a radical act in 19th century, I'm talking about, not in 21st century where we are living right right now. In 19th century, he opened his own home's water tank to people who were categorized as untouchable, and this happened in 1868. So what this act of wisdom meant, it challenged the ritual purity laws, which denied people from then called marginalized community from accessing as basic resources as a water tank. So this was his act of bravery. Now let us understand how he contributed towards social reform. Now his most famous contribution is establishment of Satya Shodhak Samaj. Satya Shodhak Samaj, if you can translate it in English, it roughly means truth seeker society. The intention of establishing this society was to provide platforms for Shudras, Ati Shudras and Dalit. And this society specially focused on promoting of rational thinking. Now by promoting rational thinking, you would reject those kind of intermediaries that get into society and deny access of resources, deny access of societal rituals to many sections of the society. So his intention of establishing Satya Shodhak Samaj was that rationality as a thought process should be promoted in the overall society. Similarly, he is also known as an advocate of widow remarriage and prohibition of child marriage. Now he was himself a vocal advocate of widow remarriage, and he established a home for pregnant widows called as Bal Hatya Pratibandhak Grih, which will prevent infanticide, especially of girl child. And it also provided these women a life of dignity, which probably or unfortunately the broader society at that time couldn't. Okay. Similarly, you need to understand his contribution to religion as well as philosophy. Now, from the Satya Shodhak Samaj, you can understand he was a very vocal advocate of rationalism. And he wanted people to have critical thinking themselves, which could encourage individuals to question the blind faith and oppressive traditions. Similarly, he promoted universal values. He thought that a true spirituality of a person actually was rooted in universal concepts, which is not a barrier of space and time, called as justice, called as equality as well as compassion. So every person should have a compassion towards other being. And while you have a compassion, you can't deny that other being the social dignity or the human dignity that they actually deserve just by the virtue that they were born in as humans, right? And Mahatma Jyotiba Phule believed that irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your nationality, irrespective of your caste that you were born into, these kind of values flows towards everyone. These are universal values for that matter, right? And there is a place of universal values in all religions. So no religion should be excluded from this. Similarly, he had a special emphasis on social justice. For example, he drew inspirations from famous Bhakti saints like Sant Kabir, from Sant Tukaram, and he believed that traditions are allies in fighting such social oppression. So there was this one chain of thought that actually believed that these traditions actually came in between of social reforms. But you have to realize, as all traditions, all religions have that universal value and its promotion. That is why there was a space for it everywhere. Now, what you need to understand are his key literary works. The key literary works, his most famous literary work includes the book Gulamgiri. Gulamgiri basically roughly translates into slavery, and it came in 1873. This was his most famous work, by the way, which was written in a form of dialogue. Now he dedicated this work to American movement, which was able to abolish slavery, which drew a parallel between the plight of black Americans located in US as well as people of the oppressed sections in India. So he drew a parallel, and that is why his most famous work becomes the Gulamgiri book. Similarly, it was also Seth Kavcha Asud, which was a cultivator's whipcord. It is a scathing critique of how alliances between bureaucracy on one hand and priestly class on another actually resulted into oppression of what was called as depressed classes. And it was the illiterate people, just by the virtue they were not literate, they were extracted by these classes. So this is how he critiqued what was happening in the society. And the third, not the least important, by the way, it was Sarvajanik Satya Dharma, which was a universal religion of truth, and it was published after his death. That was posthumously published. This book basically outlined a vision where in a world where all humans are equal, right? Regardless of their gender, as humans are created by a single creator, so why would there be any kind of a distinction when it comes to social hierarchy? So that is how this was his contribution to the society. Now you need to understand there is a big part of our society which believes Phule eventually became or propounded those values which later on was mentioned in our constitution. For example, he brought this theory of reinforcing injustices. According to this theory, Phule was one of the first to argue that social hierarchy, economic exploitation, as well as indifference of the state to get rid of this kind of a problems actually was reinforcing in the Indian society. And he realized that a marginalized farmer, just because he could not get his child educated because of these restrictions which was imposed on them from other sections of the society. Similarly, there was his work which he called for state responsibility, and it could be seen as the Hunter Commission's report which came in 1882. When he made submissions to this committee, that is called as Education Committee, he propounded or he wanted the state to play a proactive role. In which kind of ways? For providing compulsory education for all children up to age 12. So you can say this is a precursor of what today is known as right to education. Similarly, he wanted the state to offer targeted scholarship for those communities where education historically has made no progress. Similarly, he wanted the state to incentivize female literacy through establishment of liberal government measures. So that is how he advocated for pro invention of the state so that they can intervene on behalf of people who are marginalized by the various sections of the society, right? And last but not the least, to conclude, as you can understand what Jyotiba Phule's vision was, it became a direct precursor to the work of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and as a result, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar credited Mahatma Jyotiba Phule as being one of his influential gurus. And in modern Indian constitution, from Article 17, which prohibits untouchability, fundamental rights given in the Part 3 of the Constitution, and affirmative actions which are found in Article 15 and 16, reservation policy, so as to say, directly belong to the Mahatma Phule's line of vision. And that is why this concrete legal expression, they are found in the constitution which much before was propounded by Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So this is all for today's video. Now there is an important announcement. Tomorrow is 15th of April and we are going to hold the sale where you will get admissions in the courses at very attractive rates. This is one of the last offers that you're going to get, and beyond this the prices of all the courses are going to increase. To take admissions in the UPSC exam, to fulfill your dream of becoming an IAS or an IPS officer, you need to take admissions here. If you apply the code ATS Live, you will get maximum discounts on all the courses, right? So this is all from my side for today's discussion. There are two questions that I want you to solve. These are easy questions. You'll be able to solve it. Satya Shodhak Samaj organized what? This is a question from 2016. And there's this another question which came in 2020. Vittal Vidwansak, the first monthly journal which to have untouchable people at its target's audience, was published by whom? So these are the two questions that I want you to solve. Do let me know in the comment section. And this topic is very important, so you should go ahead and download the notes which will be available on this particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live. So this is all from my side for today. Please have a very good night. We'll see each other again quite soon.